What's up, my chaotic crew? Bentley Michaels here. Hey, a special metagame minute this week because we had to split my episode into two parts. We did almost 2 hours, and as I said earlier, I did the math wrong. And so, we split my episode into 2 hours. Thank God Alex and I can talk. And we're going to, make it happen so that we still end the season at the end of December. But here's a special metagame minute because I couldn't figure out where to, divvy up the one that we did later. And next week, let me tell you, it might as well just be a full episode because we talk for a while, which is why I couldn't figure it out. So I just want to talk about a couple of things off the top for me, and then some a little bit more behind the scenes things that might interest you. If you're on our Patreon, it's $1. You can get on our Discord server, that sort of thing, and we talk to the folks that are on there. We have discussions. They ask us questions. So if you got $1 and you and you're on Patreon and you want to talk with us, and you're a longtime listener, hit us up. Hit us up on Patreon, get on that Discord server. Also, hit us up, and if you're on iTunes, please give us a review. If you're on podcast app or Google Play or Spotify or wherever, please give us a review. We'd love to get in more of your ear holes. But enough of all that promoting. Here's something that I found very interesting, doing this solo episode with Alex, is that it almost felt like the beginning of the season again to me. I hadn't played in over 100+ episodes as far as just being a character. I've been the DM. I've been a bevy of characters, but I had never played. It had been since we started in 2017 with Rhett, where I had barely ever played. So I was very timid. I was like, is this how we play the game right? That was always my sort of, my mantra. That was my sort of mentality, the first 3 or 4 sessions. And I think by about episode 8 or 9 or something like that, something happens where I split, and it just hit with me personality wise as a human being, where I go, oh, and then I just start going off, and then I was like, okay, this is kind of like the road that I'm going towards. And then there was one of those info dump sessions that Riff is, quote unquote famous for now. But the first time I did, I was like, oh, this is the character. Starting this over with Alex, I really felt almost kind of back at the beginning of season 4, but then I realized that we were on a playground, or we were there was little kids, and I was like, okay, this is kind of where Riff is at. This is kind of the he set it up very, very well, and that's something I will compliment Alex on, not only on my episode but all the ones that you'll that you're going to hear. He really does compliment the player and their abilities and their character and their sort of preferences as far as, playing and that sort of stuff. He's a wonderful DM, and I can't say enough good things about him. But the thing I really loved about this episode is just getting to sort of explore Riff more as a character singularly. But even though I wasn't necessarily Riff, there are things I'm going to take from this that I'm definitely going to put into Riff. But also, I think the really cool thing that Alex is doing is, and you will see more of this, is the history. All of these stories, all these little threads, all of these little pieces that you sort of been seeing throughout the season, they're coming home to roost, y'all. They're coming home to roost. And I think that's very, very cool. And I can't express enough good things about him and say how great it is. Riff, there's going to be some fun stuff coming up next week, so please stay tuned, and tell your friends, hey, are you on Reddit? I don't know how it works, but start a Reddit thing or whatever. Something I do want to touch on is sort of the behind the scenes for these episodes, these solo bolos. If you've been a longtime listener, you'll know that, the first couple of seasons, I was, I'm the editor, I'm the engineer, I'm the producer, and I'm recording all these things, and then like I'm thinking like, oh, landscapes, and then sound effects, and then clip clops, and then magic, and then music, and it just became such a time-consuming thing to do, like in my free time, that by season 3, I was like, we're gonna do music and some magic sound effects and some like, sword sound effects, basically. And then season 4, it's like, we're just going to do music. And then, recently I've sort of, revised that and added a few things here and there where I think it's fun. But I think the really fun thing to do with these solo bolos is to like really immerse you in the world. And that's, what I've really tried to do. And the really cool thing is that we've got some really talented sound folks, not just me, but Caleb, he's recorded stuff, he's written stuff for us, his birthday episodes, the Mucky Muck Buckle Detection Agency. But he if you listen to those episodes, he did all the music, he did all the, he did all the editing, he did all the whatever. So, and then Rhett, also a wonderful sound engineer. And so I put it out to him. I was like, hey man, on your guys' solo episodes, here's, access to like the sound library with all the music and the effects. Go nuts. So after mine, y'all are going to get to hear, when you hear Caleb's solo and you hear Rhett's solo, that's them really expressing themselves as artists and really expressing themselves as, storytellers and, telling the story that they want to tell. And I think that's so very, very, very cool. So, and then I'm doing Dash's episode and, classic Dash fashion. I was like, hey man, you got any ideas? He's like, I don't care. Do what you want. I was like, cool. I'll just kill you with sound effects. He was like, that's cool. I'll haunt you in your dreams. And I was like, fair enough. So very excited. Please, if you got $1, join us on Patreon, get in our Discord server, talk on our ear, type in our ear holes, hit us up on all the reviews, whatever podcast app of choice that you use, please hit us up. We would love to hear from you, or check out our website, Chaotic Amateurs. I believe it's just chaoticamateurs.com. And, you can just type in Chaotic Amateurs or look at the podcast, see the links, do the stuff. Okay, folks? Thank you very much for listening to this rambling solo bolo. And next week, we'll actually do a recap of both episodes. But until then, be healthy, be safe, be kind to one another, grab your swords, and keep on adventuring.